the second question is from a person named Avery, and they asked, is there a certain way that you should properly breathe in the middle of a workout?
Great question. I'm going to answer that. But before we go to that, shameless plug, we'll have a YouTube video on hamstring tightness that
Yes.
you can look at and see, from a physical standpoint, are my hamstrings deconditioned in the sense that I need to strengthen them?
Mm-hmm.
And then, as Brandon said, do that self assessment. Is my internal load too high? And that's creating the tension in through there. So, when should you breathe when you're working out? Great question. It was Avery that
Yes.
sent in. Thank you, Avery. First, you should breathe while you work out. Like, that is the first step, is
Don't
that
hold your breath.
you are breathing. Yeah, don't hold your breath. I'm thinking of a coach I used to work with, phenomenal friend. He was training for a bodybuilding show, and he came up to me and he goes, "Hey, I want to run something by you. I've been practicing this thing. I've been trying to get my veins to pop out more, my muscles to show more. So what I've been doing is holding my breath as long as I can because my veins start popping out." And he
What?
goes, "Do you think I should keep doing that?" And him and I have a very close relationship, so don't take this the wrong way. But I said to him, "Well, from the fact that you're asking me that question tells me that you've done it enough already, and you should stop doing that because you're starting to hurt your brain cells." Like, breathing is important for life. You need
Mm-hmm.
to be able to breathe to do these things. So, are there times that you hold your breath during a big lift? Absolutely. Like, you do the Valsalva maneuver, you're going for a 1 rep max deadlift or bench press or squat, that you hold your breath to create a little extra tension in there. It's a very short period of time. It's okay when you're doing it for that reason. But let's say you're doing something that's 5 reps or a 20-minute workout where you're constantly doing these different movements. It is incredibly important that you're breathing for a lot of reasons. Chris Henshaw, world expert on pacing, phenomenal talking with him and learning from him. But when you breathe, you're telling your brain that what you're doing is okay because there's another supply of oxygen that's coming in soon. If you hold your breath, your brain starts going, "Oh crap, I need to survive. Where am I going to get this oxygen from?" And then you start hyperventilating, and then that's not good to continue with the exercise. So, step one, make sure that you're breathing. If you're going for a 1 rep max and you're holding your breath for that short period of time, that's okay. But if it's a longer duration workout, you have to make sure that you are breathing. So then it gets into kind of the nitty gritty details of, well, when do I breathe for performance?
Mm-hmm.
And simply put, if you're going up overhead and your rib cage is expanding, that is the best time to do an inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
breathing in. The reason being is that in that position, your diaphragm's flattening out, your thoracic volume is already increasing from your rib cage position. So now your lungs can expand and you can get more of a breath in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're coming back down from that overhead movement, or you're descending in a squat, or you're catching like a medicine ball in the bottom position, now your core and your trunk is more in a flex position. A flex position helps with expiration because now the diaphragm's returning, thoracic volume is decreasing. So that becomes helpful to get breath out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you reverse that? Sure, you can. But if you want to use your already designed breathing mechanics to help you in performance, then that's the way to do it. Overhead or pressing out or standing up at the top of the squat, that's when you get your breath in. And then when you're more in a flex position or you're going down or descending, that's where you're going to be breathing out.
Mm. That's so helpful. And I know one thing that you taught me is belly breathing because when we first met, I was a chest breather, I was a mouth breather. I didn't even understand what belly breathing was, to the point where you had to explain, like, as you breathe, push your belly out. And I really had I had no idea. Um but it helps so much in a workout. And I still struggle trying to find the rhythm of like when to breathe, because I know, breathe in when my arms are up, but sometimes I'm in a workout and I'm just
Mhm.
like going, 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 and my breath is all over the place. But I think performance wise, having that little bit of intentionality in the training season, I think there's times when you're, say you're in the middle of a workout competition, like you can't be thinking about your breath right now. You just need to send it because that's what you've trained for. But during the training season, really being intentional about when you breathe, how you're breathing, I think will go a lot longer and help you more and benefit you more when you're in those specific competitions.
Yeah, and then from a competitor standpoint, how intimidating is it when you're running next to someone and they're barely panting
Mm-hmm.
because they're just in through their nose, out through their mouth, nice and controlled. They know their pace versus you're running next to them and you're, I'm not afraid of that competitor. Because I'm like, why are you going at this pace that you're gonna crash soon?
Yeah.
Because you're not controlling it. Because when we breathe, and this is good for people that are going in to get a physical done and they're worried about their blood pressure or their heart rate being elevated because they're nervous, they have white coat syndrome. Maybe they had coffee in the morning, so they got caffeine in their system, but their heart's just thumping through their chest and their blood pressure's up. So they get their blood pressure and they go, oh, you have hypertension. You need to take this pill. You need this beta blocker in order to bring it down. When the reality is they were just stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good life lesson too of our breathing helps to control our heart rate. It helps to control our blood pressure. So there are times that you want it to be elevated. Like end of the workout, it doesn't matter. Get the work done, send it. You're in the early phases or beginning of that workout and your heart rate starts getting really highly elevated, more than what you were anticipating. Use those breathing mechanics to help calm it down. Or after the workout, you can use that to get into a recovery state. Let the parasympathetic nervous system kick into recovery to help with that.